Hey guys, I hope you have had a wonderful Lughnasah. And I thought I would first, I plan on giving you sort of a witch haul at the end of the video, because I had a wonderful day garage sale shopping with my aunt. But before I get into that, because I have loads and loads of goodies to show you, I thought I would tell you about a dream I had, or rather a vision that I had on Lughnasah. In fact, all the very initiatory dreams I seem to have, or visions rather, seem to take place on the 3 days surrounding Lughnasah. And to me, that is personally significant. What happened in the dream was I was being led through a rite of passage for Lughnasah by the late Margaret Adler. So I assume it was taking place in the other world. And she had brewed what she called witch blood beer. And there was only a small number of bottles to go around, not nearly enough. So she devised the idea that whoever was willing to go through a ritual cleansing, a rite of passage, a death of the old self, a rebirth of the new, would get one of these bottles of beer. So I was determined not to allow my fear or anxiety to dissuade me. And I swear I raised my hand literally, even through my sleep. I powered through my own body's reflex to keep you basically immobile. And I literally found myself raising my hand through the air to volunteer. And so I was led to a clearing by some gentlemen who bound my arms behind my back around a large pyre of wood and blindfolded me. And as I was doing so, Margaret began chanting. And while she was chanting, of course, she lit us all on fire, basically. And I could feel the flames lapping at my skin as my old self just dissolved away. But during this process, I was even chanting to conjure the images, to invoke my own ancestors. And as I did so, I could see them quite clearly. After the fires were extinguished, we were released, and we were led down to where the beer was being served. And I remember it tasted extremely bitter, but very, very potent, very strong, very rejuvenating, as the spirit of beer should be, because the blood extracted from John barleycorn and other grain spirits was also intended to be very rejuvenating. So that was my experience. And I really don't share many personal items like that about myself, because I try to construct a very pragmatic persona. So without further ado, let's get into my haul, which is literally all around me. The first thing isn't so much a haul as it's something I have recently bought from Amazon, and that is Daniel A. Schultz's book, 13 Pathways of Occult Herbalism. because I've long been interested in this book and seeing what he had to say on the subject, since I'm writing my own book on the subject. Okay, and and a buttload of every kind of knitting needle you can imagine on a cord, on a so you can knit in the round, as well as straight knitting needles, including this Carriol tapestry needles, rulers, and stitch markers, which I have found very useful. In fact, in a few future episodes, I will teach you the magic art of knitting, how to knit a spell. All right, just to get the fun of the way, I'm always looking for yarn at tag sales and garage sales, because yarn in stores has actually gotten pretty expensive. It used to be like $1 or $2 a skein. Now it's like $5, $7, $8, sometimes even $10 a skein I've seen. And this is the only yarn, fairly new, almost unused yarn that I saw in the 141 garage sale that me and my aunt went through. But the one thing that I don't have here to show you, because it's downstairs and it is horribly heavy, is over 60 pounds of wax. Yeah. Someone was selling all of their candle making supplies, including just piles of sheets of wax that I bought over $100 of wax for $10. And that was an amazing deal. Oh my god. So in future episodes, after I figure out how I am going to hack this wax into bits so I can melt it, I will absolutely show you guys how I make my own beeswax candles, because I have been making them for rituals for many years now. And one of the first things I found in, where was it, Woodward, I want to say it was Woodward, at this little community building, is this. I have been looking for one of these for years. In fact, this year I was projecting pretty hard for it, because I was intending to buy one online for about $50, because the cranberry ones, which is the color that I collect, just happen to be pretty damn rare and hard to come by. Definitely they are the most expensive. What this is a double boiler insert. And you might be thinking, what the hell are you going to be doing with a double boil insert without something to insert it into? Well, I'm glad you asked. It just so happens that way back when, my grandfather bought all of his daughters the entire set that this insert goes to. So I have the pot here that it goes to, that I will be able to use this in, so I can make some herbal infusions and some ointments using that. And I am really, really, really excited about it, because as I've said, I've been wanting one for years. I also found this, so I can shoot better images, I hope, from wherever it is I feel like shooting at. It's a tripod, obviously, that my camera can hook onto, and it extends to about 4 feet, I think. I haven't yet measured it, but I think it's about 4 feet. I also found some really inexpensive hoops, because if you've tried to buy these in craft stores nowadays, you're looking at like, oh my god, at least, I think the last time I tried to buy one, it was about $10. And I'm like, I don't think so. So I bought 4 for $1, which was an awesome find. I plan to do some embroidery in my knitting. I also found this lovely gold tablecloth for sale that I totally intend to use, because the altar cloth I have now, it's getting a little boring to look at. So I thought I would spice things up a little bit with something a little different. I also bought a couple of DVDs. This one was selling What's Eating Gilbert Grape and the original Poltergeist, because the remake sucks. You know, I just love the speeches in Poltergeist that are given about why people don't go to the light. And in this movie, when I first saw it way back when I was in high school, I had no idea who Leonardo DiCaprio was. I honestly believed that they had hired a kid who really was special to play that role. So I've been impressed with his performance in this movie ever since. Ever since, his performances have been kind of downhill. My aunt actually found this for me at the very last sale we were at, when I was, really exhausted. I was like, take me home. I want to go home now. I'm exhausted. Redheads were meant for this heat. So it is In the Wake of the Plague, The Black Death and the World It Made, by Norman F. Cantor. So it looks really good. I really can't wait to dive into it. Then, most of these books came from the same place that I got the double boiler insert from. And I really love old vintage cookbooks. So we have, all of them are from Better Homes and Gardens, because they literally produced their magazine here in Iowa. I've asked to write for them for years, and each time they say absolutely not, because I don't have a degree in journalism, even though I'm a writer and I probably could write well for them. I have lots of ideas. Also, they have a garden on top of the building where the magazine is published, with the strangest hours I have ever heard of. It's open literally 2 days a week, and never on a weekend that I know of. And it's only open on those 2 days for 2 hours each day. So it's very, very unusual. But I would love to go there and maybe film film there if I can. But we have Meals in Minutes. And I'll have to go downstairs and check my other books to see if I have any duplicates. Let's see. Holiday Cookbook and Special Occasions. And there are actually some really good recipes on this one. I was impressed. The Meat Book. Casserole Cookbook. And the Dessert Cookbook. Alright, the last 2 items they found during the sale were actually from a library that me and my aunt always go to every year, and we usually end up with a bag or 2 each from this library. But this year their their selection was really, really paltry. So I only found 2 books, and that is Good Things in Take Sales and Flea Markets, which is under the same brand as Good Things, both from Martha Stewart. And it really takes me back because I adore Original Martha, and if anyone knows where I can find all the issues from the 1990s, I would really appreciate it, because I would love to get a hold of those. There's one more thing I forgot. All right, I almost didn't even see this until my aunt pointed it out to me, but it is a scraper beater attachment for my KitchenAid. I've been wanting this also for a long time. Actually, I have been projecting for this magically for a long time, and it finally came to me. I have asked around to numerous antique dealers, and no one has ever seen anything like this double boiler insert come through, and they have been in business for decades. So to finally find one, I am extremely glad. Now I will just need to find a 1.5 quart pan from Corral to go with it, so I don't have to use Mom's all the time when I want to make an oil infusion. And last but not least, I was at the Harper's bookstore, and apparently there is a used bookstore in Adel, Iowa that I've never been to. So the next time I am driving through Adel, I've got to go check them out to see what they have there. But I was at the Harper's bookstore looking for Barbara G. Walker's book on knitting, because there's a pattern in there I want for a blanket that basically teaches you everything you need to know about knitting, just with one blanket project, which I think is really cool. But as I was in there, I decided to buy this book instead, seeing as how I didn't see Barbara's book. It is the Vogue knitting book, the ultimate knitting book, and it is pretty awesome. So until next time, my puppets, that has been my week and my Lughnasah, and until we meet again, keep calm and with John.